Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time. As I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, you can find us syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Continue watching us on Facebook, Twitter, well, X now, and all of the other social media sites. And again, we appreciate you being with us. Continue sending emails too, by the way, Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. I'm showing my name down there for some reason as being AP Steadham. I am Donna Fiesel. So AP is my special guest today, and he's been with us a long time. And wow, you're the sports guy as far as we're all concerned here in our neck of the woods.
Hey, Donna, thank you very much. That's quite a transformation. If you have my name, I can tell you that right now. But good to be here. Thank you for having me, as always. And we really appreciate you and your audience and the questions they provide and the commentary. It adds to the conversation.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, we got the best audience. I mean, they are absolutely fantastic. And we have the best guest. Now, you also have a podcast, AP As We See It. So what's been going on with the podcast lately?
Yeah, we had some interesting guests the last couple of weeks, Don. We had Jay Jacobs. He's the Auburn Athletic Director Emeritus. And Jay, he hired Bruce Pearl. That's one of his hires. So the Auburn people, they remember him for that specific choice. So that's been, been very successful, reaching the Final Four 2 times, never in the history of the school. So they've been there twice now. So with Jay Jacobs, we discussed a number of topics. He also the founding partner of AD Advisor. So he relocated back to Auburn. He was at Florida for a brief period of time after he left Auburn. But Jay is an administrator that knows all the ins and outs and all this transformation on the college landscape. So people can watch that on our YouTube channel. They can hear it on our Spotify, and we archive all our episodes at those 2 locations. So check our social media platforms at Facebook, at Instagram, and on the X account as well at AP As We See It, and also my personal one at AP Steadham.
Well, now your guest you were just mentioning seems to be easy to adapt to new changes, and that's what you got to have in today's world.
That's right. Yeah, you have to be fluid, and you have to be nimble. That's critical in this college landscape. And Jay has all that knowledge as an administrator, hiring people and evaluating programs and doing all the things behind the scenes to make it easier for the coaches and trying to have the best experience for the student athletes.
Well, they've got to wear many hats. I mean, it's not like it was back in the old days. You've got to be almost a pro at everything. So it seems to be easy to adjust to those changes. Yeah. So what are his thoughts about all the changes within?
Yeah, he realizes, Donna, that it's in flux. We have this, and we'll still continue. We've been using this term for 5 years, I think, approximately, the wild West. And because there's no fences in this pasture. Okay, I mean the animals are running wild, right? The cows and the horses, they're running all over the countryside. Mm-hmm. And the student athletes, they have the leverage now. They have much of the leverage that was in the hands of the programs in the past, but they're able to move around with the transfer portal. And name, image, and likeness is the huge variable in that equation that dictates if they're staying at a school or leaving. So until they have some guidelines where it's more uniform and the schools can compare, what is being offered, I think it's going to continue in this manner where, for instance, we'll probably discuss this a little bit. You have the quarterback at Tennessee. He was highly recruited. He had a big NIL package initially, Nico Iamaleava, and he decided to transfer in the spring. I think he lost quite a bit of his leverage because if you transfer in the early portal, Donna, you can do that within the SEC. but the SEC has a rule where you can't transfer within the conference in the spring 10-day window transfer portal. I really think, Donna, that particular rule, I bet if you challenged it in court, I don't think it'd hold up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it could hold up to have to limit somebody in the spring portal when you're allowing them to move around in the January portal, the December, January portal. I think if a player challenged that, I think they would win. I really do.
Yeah, and there has to be some adjusting there because it has to be fair with all parties. I mean, the team, the coach, everybody. You even have to consider the team itself, because when they've been through practices with the quarterback and then the quarterback decides to go somewhere else, that's a whole new challenge right there. Right.
And I think, for the schools, Donna, I think when they look at it from the fact that my player cannot, like for instance, my player at Tennessee cannot transfer to Vanderbilt or Auburn, Alabama, or Texas, Oklahoma, South Carolina. The coaches have to remember, the programs have to remember, those players can transfer to us. So there is a benefit. There is a benefit going the other direction if you allow them to transfer in the spring portal. And if the court make that appearance and you present your case and you're saying, well, we're letting them transfer in December, January, and the judge is going to say, well, why did you pick those months? What is it, Christmas and New Year? I mean, why? What made you pick that restriction? And we know you're trying to have stability of your roster. But if it's done all around the country, other conferences are saying you could transfer during both portal windows. Then how could one league say, well, we're going to limit it and it's going to be legal? I really think that I think somebody will challenge that pretty soon. And but like I say, the program should realize if I'm losing my quarterback, I could take their quarterback possibly as well. So there is a benefit.
Something, and Jake actually sent an email about this, and I thought it was interesting. He said this whole thing is like playing Dirty Santa. You ever played Dirty Santa with a group of people? And it's like, okay, it's nothing dirty. So what happens is everyone, let's say, and our family does this every year because we got tired of just buying presents. So we'll just go to the Dollar Tree, spend $1 on a gift. Everybody does that. And then what happens is you bring that to the Christmas gathering. You put all of the gifts on a coffee table or table wherever. And then what happens is you draw names. So if there are 10 people, you have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you pick the number out of a hat.
Yes.
And then number 1 gets to choose from all of the gifts out there. Okay. And then they get to pick it. Now, number 2 gets to do the same thing. Number 2 can pick a gift, or he can pick the gift you just got.
Oh, number 2 can take your gift. That number 1.
I made a great observation about that because this is what it's turned into. It's turned into Dirty Santa. Right.
I think I would want number 10 if you had 10 people. That's number 10 is the best, right? Because you could pick any gift or no.
If number 10 decides he wants to get one from somebody else, that person gets to, it could go on for hours.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. So if I got the gift from number 4, he's in the driver's seat now. He can go and he can also choose that gift right back.
Who knew Santa was involved in college athletics? Who knew?
Well, that's what it's turned into. Jake, you had a great observation there. Most of the emails we've received have been about discontent with this.
Yes.
And I gotta say, the more involved we get, the closer the season comes. I gotta agree with the audience.
Well, yeah, it's difficult for the fan base, Donna. They want to embrace the players and the team. But every year now, you must have a roster because you cannot determine or a scorecard with a roster because you cannot determine who's on your team. Year to year, it changes so fast. I mean, there's normally, minimum 10 players leaving, could be 20, 25. I think Arkansas in the last couple of years, I think one year it was 29 left. And they're not the only school. I'm just mentioning them because I recall that number. I think it was 29. But most schools, they're losing in the 20s every year. And they lose some in January, and then some they're practicing during the spring, and they're finding out, it doesn't look like I'm going to play. And we had the conversation with the coach. He suggested it. And some of the coaches, they're going to suggest you transfer. So, I mean, I think that's something we should bring up down to the audience. The coach is telling the player, you're not going to be able to compete. And we want you to leave to open that roster spot. So although the coaches have a tendency to complain, they're on that. They're contributing. They're contributing to this movement.
Yeah, it's weird. So Newt sent a message that he and his family all have been betting on the ball games. Only 50 cents per game, but it's just something they do for fun. They've all decided not to do it this coming year.
Oh, okay, yeah, because down at the rosters, I tell people we're going to be discussing college football as always, the SEC primarily, but it's hard to make a projection. Even when you acquire a player, Donnie, you're not sure how they're going to fit into that system. They may be good at one school. As a receiver, let's say, do they G-haul with the quarterback of that team? Maybe he's coming in as well. I don't know. So even though you realize that you're acquiring talent from other schools and they have a good record and a good track record, I'm not sure how they fit into this school. You're projecting that they're probably going to be good.
It's the human equation. But just because you got along with the players at the other school doesn't mean you're going to get along with them in this one, because somebody could be mad because they thought they were going to be the quarterback, and they can throw some hinges in there, Yeah.
Maybe they transferred and they're working with a new assistant coach, position coach, and for whatever reason, he favors someone else. They get more playing time, and you're thinking, hey, we just brought in this top level running back. He's not getting the carries. We thought would happen with our team. So, like I said, it's always really interesting with this transfer portal, projecting which teams might succeed, especially if you have a new quarterback.
There's just too many other variables. And at first, and I'm one of those, I made a change too, because a lot of times change is the best thing that can happen. But we do still have some hurdles to jump to make this one work.
Yes. But those who adapt flourish, and those who don't perish.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, I sort of see that. I'm still with our audience. I'm kind of like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, but this is the new world. And as always, I use that description: the toothpaste has left the dispenser.
You can't put it back in now.
No.
Pandora's box has been opened. And
That's it.
We're going to have to go into a commercial break. Can you believe half the show already? Thank you guys so much for sending emails. We appreciate that. Donna at donnasedge.com. And no, I'm not AP Steadham. I'm Donna Steadham. We'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody hang in there, okay? Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing. Including my classic standard MyPillow is only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Good afternoon, everybody. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm not AP. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I am talk about adapting. You know, we're having to do it right here on this show. What do? You just jump a little and go on. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You can find us on television syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We've got some new things developing right here in South Carolina. Can't wait to tell you about those. They're going to be upcoming pretty soon. You can also find us on the podcast at thenewscaster.com. Continue watching us on all the social media sites. We're still there. But I want you getting into trouble at work, okay? Because the show airs at 1 p.m. Central Time. So you can watch us other ways as well. That's YouTube, Facebook. If it's out there, we're doing it. I have AP Steadham with us right now. Now, he's on the other side of the equation right there. That really is AP Steadham, right? AP, you just got back from a fun trip. It was very interesting. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Donna, we had the pleasure, as we do I think it's a way over 10 years. I can't remember exactly, Donna, but we covered the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. And Donna, this is the first time it was held in, modern times, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. So, I had to fly to Milwaukee and travel back and forth. And my daddy always said Milwaukee was a nice town, and it is. I really enjoyed it. Stayed on the river there. But we went to the draft on Thursday and Friday. It was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We were at Lambeau Field, and they have a structure that we were in for the draft, the media members, and then they construct some structures for the draftees and their families. But it was great. And Donna, we saw that the SEC, Donna, 65 players in 1 year was their record. I believe they did it a couple of times, actually. But Donna, this year, I'm looking at a notes here, 79 players from the SEC. They broke the record by 14. So, and that's what the advent of Texas and Oklahoma. So Texas, just to give you an idea of the contributions they made, those two schools. Oklahoma had just the 2 draftees, but Texas had the 12. So that was the difference, the 14. There it is right there. They would have had 65 if they didn't have the 2 new members, Texas and Oklahoma. So with the addition of the Longhorns and the Sooners, they broke their own record by 14. And they would have tied their old record at 65 if they didn't have those 2 teams. So, but the SEC once again led the conferences. But Donna, I'm telling you right now, the Big Ten had 71. So they have an addition of all their new teams, Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC. They're catching up talent-wise with the SEC, but the SEC still reigns.
Interesting that coming year, interesting coming season, and I can hardly wait. Now, you had quite a few interviews. Who really stuck out?
Yeah, we did. I had a chance to visit with Tyler Booker. Tyler and I, he's the All-American guard from the University of Alabama. He was the best guard in the draft, as deemed by many, and he was the 12th pick of the Dallas Cowboys. So we had a show during the season called The Book Report as well. It's on my YouTube channels. You can check that out. But Tyler was drafted number 12. He was thrilled to be drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, and I think he'll do very well. We had fun. People can watch that interview on my YouTube channel, AP As We See It. And then we did all the SEC players that were drafted. There were 8 that were present, and 7 were drafted in the first round. Malachi Starks of Georgia, and Golden, the receiver from Texas, and Campbell, the offensive lineman from LSU, and then Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama. Both have the name of Campbell, but 2 different positions, 2 different schools. But you can see all those interviews, and I put up a few others as well, and I'll try to put up some more this week of all the drafted. There were only 15 attendees this year, which was the lowest number I can recall that accepted an invitation to be there. So it was, and 8 of the 15 were from the SEC. So that was something different. But we had pretty good access, and as always, and enjoyed the drafts. And like I said, they're instant millionaires, Donna, when they're drafted in the first round, like winning the lottery. Yeah. So no matter where they are in the first round, 1 to 32, because there's 32 teams, Donna. That's why there's 32 selections in the first round. But some rounds, Donna, there are more. They have what's called compensatory selections. The commissioner, there's a system. They give more selections in a round. So you're thinking, why is there more than 32 in, let's say, the 3rd or 4th round? Because they have compensatory picks. So that's why it's more than 32. But it was great. The weather was a little cool, as you would expect in Wisconsin. But I think the 3rd day, I wasn't able to be there on Saturday. I had to travel back east for an engagement. But the weather was fairly good. It quit raining right before the draft, I think on Friday or Thursday, one of those days. Big crowd of people. And of course, all excited. And there were fans from everywhere. Every team was represented. Fans, they've traveled to the draft. And it's a big, exciting event. So, yeah, teams from everywhere. But I was glad to speak to all the players from the SEC or witness those interviews and videotape them and have them on the site so people can watch those, and we shared those.
With everything that's in place right now, which team really stuck out to you? Which one is going to really take it all this year?
Ooh, and the pro, you talking about the pro ball or the college ball down at pro ball?
College.
Oh, college. Okay, college. Well, I think Ohio State, down to give you an example, they led this year's draft with 14 selections to the NFL. 14. Okay, and right behind them was Georgia at 13, Texas at 12, Oregon at 10, Ole Miss at 8, Alabama. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams had 7 selections, Donna. 5 teams tied. It was Michigan, LSU, Florida, Alabama, and Miami. So, but I think Ohio State, Donna, they're going to be a contender. They have a very good coach, Ryan Day. He's able to recruit coast to coast, Donna. He's one of those teams that gets players from everywhere, and he might get the top player from California, for instance. So Ohio State's going to be in contention. I think Texas will be in contention this year. I would say Georgia will continue that trend. I think Alabama has a chance. LSU has a chance. Ole Miss, they're going to have a new quarterback. They'll have a chance as well. But I think it's the usual suspects. I think South Carolina, Donna, where you are right now, I think there's a lot of optimism with their quarterback, Lenora Sellers, and they're building a winning program there to contend for a playoff berth. And we now know, Donna, was 2, then it's 4, now it's 12, and it's one more year. It's the 12 at the moment, and might following the 26th season might be 14 or 16. And the SEC would have probably 4 automatic qualifiers, but that doesn't mean it just will be 4. Could be more, but I'm hoping that the SEC and all these other leagues say, look, 4 is enough for us. We want other teams to participate as well. We want the college football to be a national sport where everybody in all parts of the country has an interest. I don't want it to become a regional sport down it. I don't think that's good for the college football.
Another question that was sent in by Newell, and Newell asked, and I think it's a good question. He said, because in light of what's happening in college football right now, do you think that's going to change the direction of pro football? Do you think people are going to stay in college, or will they want to play pro football?
I think some players, Donna, if they do the math, it's best for them to stay in college, because if they're not drafted in the first round, and some of them are very good college players, Donna, they're going to make more money staying in college and have fun. Who wants to leave college? Mm-hmm. If you have fun.
I totally agree. And then I thought about it this way too, because a lot of players leave college and, they leave their college, their degrees behind, because they go on to pro, which is still good. I mean, it's still lucrative business. But what I mean is while you're playing college, you get to earn that degree still. So, I mean, right. I think that in that light, I think there will be a lot of happy parents.
Yeah, I think you're going to see college football, Donna, college basketball, and women's basketball. I think you're going to see players staying and returning to play because they're earning excellent salaries, excellent NIL money by staying in college and at the different universities. Mm-hmm. So that is a slight change, Donna, in pro ball, college, pro football, pro basketball, and women's basketball, I think, yeah.
So the long range, what do you think that'll do to pro football?
I think it probably improves the sport, Donna, because you're more mature. If you're staying in school, you're growing, because you're still growing at 20 years old. If you're in pro ball at 21, your body, it still has some room for growth. Mm-hmm. And you learn more about your sport. You get bigger, stronger, faster, and you're hopefully smarter. And I think it probably helps the pro sport, even though they want to draft these players. But if they come to them 2 or 3 years later, I think they're better equipped to play the game, and they can adapt quicker.
Well, do you think this means pro money will have to be higher payout?
I don't think so. Donna. The pros, they have the salary cap, and there's plenty of money to go around. If you're in the first round, now maybe if it becomes a situation where they're trying to entice the college level players, mm-hmm. they would have to increase the second and third round, let's say, guarantees. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would have to increase those numbers, but I don't think they will.
We won't know till we get there, right?
Right. I don't think they will, yeah.
We're going to have to call it a day. AP, thank you so much for being with us. Anything you'd like to say before we go? 1 minute left.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Just check us out on AP As We See It on our YouTube channel, at AP Steadham on our YouTube channel as well, our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and X account, and on Spotify. And then we're on space stations all around where you can hear us in Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Georgia. And every week with you as well, Donna. We really enjoy it. Thank you so much for having us. And we'll be discussing college football every week, as always, in some other sports.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you, and thank you for being with us. And thank you guys so much for watching. You're the reason we do what we do. Continue sending emails to Donna at donnasedge.com. And I'm not AP. AP's the other person right over there. But thank you for being with us. Everybody take care. We'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Bye-bye now.